So there's been a lot of talk as we've moved through lockdown about how film and TV production has been affected and actually how it will continue to be as well. EastEnders, for example, are going to have to make shorter episodes with social distancing in place. But lockdown actually has had some benefits and has helped a local production. Project 444 is a short sci-fi film filmed right here in Leicester, and you can stream it now on Amazon Prime. I had a chat earlier with the director, Glenn McAllen-Finney, who told me what the film is all about.
So it's set in the not too distant future, about 2040, around that sort of time. And pollution's finally taking its toll on the planet due to our actions, and the human race hasn't got long left. I think they've got around 5 years in the film. So it's up to a handful of people to sort of group together and find a solution to keep the Earth going when we're all gone, sort of thing, and restore it back to its past glory, as a character says in the film. So it's a dark film, I'm not going to lie, but and it does pose some interesting questions, mainly about pollution and climate change and stuff like that. And yeah, it gets us all thinking about how we can change our actions and bring the planet back to a stable state again.
That is the theme. It's about sort of the end of humanity, but it's not necessarily a theme where we're seeing, landscapes destroyed or anything. It's about the human response and actually the characters and how they're sort of having to think about how humanity will deal with this as opposed to the planet. Would that be fair to say?
Exactly. That's exactly it, yeah. I didn't want to show... I don't know if you've noticed, but I didn't want to show too much of the generic stuff, like the landscapes and the damaged buildings and stuff like that, and wastelands and stuff. So I wanted to keep it in sort of set in real life, like people would recognise, and then show it through the characters, like you just said. I mean, it is a sci-fi film at its heart, but it is relatable as well, especially in the time we're in at the minute. Quite realistic in a way.
Quite scary in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, the story itself is linked to climate change, but actually could be sort of a sci-fi, if you'd set it 500 years in the future, it could be sort of a sci-fi story in itself. So I'm intrigued to know whether you decided you wanted to sort of discuss the idea of climate change and the damage we're doing to the planet and then came up with the concept afterwards, or was the concept came first, which, chicken or egg scenario?
Yeah, it was the latter. My friend Tommy B, who wrote the story, he wrote it surrounding the character Tim, who was I won't give too much away here, but yeah, he centralised the story around him. And the climate change bit I added in later on because I thought they'll kind of go hand in hand in an interesting way rather than sort of an obvious way. So yeah, that definitely came later on. And I think they kind of did go hand in hand really well. And I'm pretty proud of the outcome.
You should. Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. I loved it. I was hooked the entire way through. So it's a short film. It's 32 minutes long, something like that. And like you say, quite dark and focused on this character of Tim. But what I love is this is a totally Leicester production, I'm right, yeah?
Yeah, it was shot entirely in Leicester. We tend to do that with all our films. I live in Leicester. All of my crew live in Leicester. The majority of the cast are from Leicester. So we just want to keep it sort of home-based and utilise the places that we know and love and the businesses that we know, and all the buildings like the Leicester Uni as well that was featured. So yeah, it was all shot in Leicester, all edited in Leicester.
Tell me about the Leicester film industry, where we're at, and the sort of the productions that happen here, and how exciting a time is it?
You know what? When I first started out making films when I was young, I thought I had no chance, absolutely no chance of being able to do it because I thought I'd be the only one. And about 3 years ago, we made a film called The Rock Man. And it was through that I realised that we weren't alone. There was many, many people out there doing exactly what we're doing, making zero budget productions, short films, feature films. And the city's thriving in it. There's so many people out there doing what we're doing. And it's great to see. There's even a couple of film sets, studios in town and around town in Leicestershire. So if you look deep enough, then you'll find not only the cast and crew, but the locations and people who are doing exactly what we're doing. And it's fantastic to see, it really is. And everyone joins together as well to network and help each other out. So it's really great place to be.
It's funny you say that. When I've spoken to Kelly McCormack on the show a fair bit, one of the stars, and I know one of the producers in Project 444. And what I find amazing is when I've approached her to speak about various things, she said, "Oh, you know what? There's this person that's great to talk about. This person could talk about that. This person." It seems like people in the Leicester Film Community. It's exactly that, first of all, a community, but it's a celebration of everybody and the work that the team puts in. Is that fair to say, do you think?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got places like Midlands Movies as well, Mike, who does an excellent job with the Midlands Movies Awards. And that, like you say, it's just a celebration of everyone's hard work, bringing everyone together to network and just, yeah, I mean, it's all about having a good time. And to find great people around this city to share that with, it's fantastic, and it really is a great community. Anyone who's interested in film, don't fret, because there's plenty of people out there in the same boat that'll be willing to help you out. So it's really great, it really is.
And if you want to see some of the great work being done, Project 444 is available on Amazon Prime Video. This might sound like a really stupid question, so I apologise in advance, but I mean, I just watched it over the weekend with my Prime Video account. How do you make that happen with a a small production like this?
So when I was doing the previous film, The Rockman, we did actually get that on there, and that was a very, very low budget amateur thing. And I was surprised actually that they accepted stuff like that, but they're really good for it. Obviously, they prioritise the big budget Hollywood films and stuff, but you can still get it on there, and it's not as hard as you may think. It does take a bit of digging, and it does take a bit of money to get the things together to be able to. You have to jump through a few hoops, shall I say, to do it. But it's not impossible, and it is pretty straightforward to do. So you've got that available. Stuff like Netflix as well, that's a lot harder, but Amazon Prime gives you a good starting point, I think.
Obviously, with everything that's been going on with lockdown, you've not been able to get out and film and stuff, but has it meant a total stop to what you do? Has it all been doom and gloom, or has there been other things you've been able to work on?
A bit of both, really. I'm 50-50 on it, because, yes, we've had to halt all production on, for one, the feature film we're working on, and a couple of other shorts, but that's only one aspect of filmmaking. I mean, to be honest, without lockdown or anything like that, I don't think Project 444 would be as good as it is, or possibly not even finished. So you've got to look at the post-production aspect as well. I mean, telling us to stay at home is fine by me, because I'm an editor as well, so I can edit my films and stuff like that and work on pre-production and stuff. So from that side of things, it's perfect. But for stopping filming, which is a massively fun part of it, is a bit disheartening. But you know, you keep going and you do make things better as you go along. So yeah, I mean, no complaints here, really.
Well, every cloud has a silver lining. If the silver lining is how this film has turned out, then I'd say lockdown's been a success for you, Glenn. Project 444 available on Prime Video now, mate. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Jack.
Project 444, the Leicester film, available on Amazon Prime Video now.